standing outside her family home in a blue flowered dress, drenched in her mother's blood. 25-year-old Jessica Camilleri tells the police, "Mum's head is on the concrete over there. Can they sew their head back on?"
I was so heated up with anger, I just kept stabbing and stabbing and stabbing her, and I took off her head.
This is 12-Minute True Crime. The Mummy Murderer. Chapter 1. Growing Up. Jessica Camilleri's life began as the second daughter of Maltese Australian parents Vince and Rita. Her older sister Christy was normal, but Jessica, from an early age, was clearly not. A professor who consulted with her while in prison said that she was born with an intellectual disability, which meant she had an IQ of between 55 to 60. That put her in the bottom 1% of the population. Normal IQs are between 90 and 110. The professor said Jessica had delayed developmental milestones such as walking, talking, and coordination at a young age. Placed in an intermediate class at school, teachers noted her delays in reading, writing, maths, and language. Years behind her age group, that led to being teased, taunted, and harassed by her peers as being different, and that flowed into her reactions of rage, which was diagnosed as intermittent explosive disorder. Because of her autism, Jessica also had deficits in judgment and awareness of other people's thoughts, feelings, and empathy. Growing up, she would have difficulties with complex daily activities, such as grocery shopping, catching public transport, banking, home care, and employment. Her autism would also make her fixated on certain things, which unfortunately for Jessica included a fascination with horror movies. Jessica was obsessed with scary films like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Saw, and Jeepers Creepers.
What the hell was he doing?
He dumped something down that pipe.
Wrapped in a sheet.
Wrapped and roped in a sheet.
Wrapped and roped in a sheet with red stains on it.
She spent hours every day for years looking at the same videos over and over again. The professor explains that when she perceives a person is looking at her strangely or disrespectfully, she has a minor reaction. But if they touch her or do something physically, she loses all control. At school, Jessica had explosive outbursts, attacking other students or teachers, and got suspended regularly. It was almost always towards females, but on one occasion she actually bit a male student, and even when they tried to pull her off, she refused to disengage her teeth. Chapter 2. Homeschooling Hell. Jessica's parents separated while she was a teenager, and Vince, Jessica's dad, had told his wife Rita that she could not discipline Jessica and that his daughter treated her mother badly. Rita's eldest daughter, Christy, testified at the trial about her sister's troubled childhood and how, once in desperation, her mother had paid a medium $2,500 to get the demons out of Jessica. The court said she presents as an egocentric, self-centered, and has a history of demanding attention and has a massive problem when attention is not focused on her. She has a sense of entitlement and an unreasonable expectation of favourable treatment. When her needs are not met, she can be furious.
Yes, I need you to get the ambulance and the police out here immediately.
To which address?
This is immediate life or death situation.
Which suburb or town is that in?
Listen, can you talk to the neighbour? I'm flustered. Can you just talk to him?
Rochford Street, is it?
Could you? Because my hand's bleeding. Yes.
Jessica has favourite numbers and colours and associates the two together. Number 2 was yellow, number 5 was purple, and number 3 was green. She would make daily phone calls with phone numbers she'd made up from those numbers, and then call them and try to speak to people, preferably men. She once called the number of a Bangladeshi family unknown to her up to 100 times a day just because she liked their phone number. In 2018, Jessica began calling the numbers of staff at a Victorian meat company and developed a crush on the boss. After she'd called several male staffers, she then moved on to his wife and sister-in-law, who Jessica eventually told, "I'll cut your head off with a chainsaw and flush it down the toilet." Jessica had been banned from a doctor's surgery after she became paranoid about female patients in the waiting room and became aggressive and had to be restrained. She was also admitted to a psychiatric unit for 9 days for an episode of severe mood disorders. That had been in early 2018, but by late that year, Jessica was off her medication. Chapter 3. Murder by Numbers. By July of 2018, Jessica had a reasonable amount of therapy. She'd seen multiple psychiatrists, but the gains had been very small because of a mental disorder and her 3 conditions of intellectual disability, autism, and explosive rage. They exacerbated one another. The day of the murder, Jessica became very distressed with her mother's preoccupation with another family member. She also said that her mother had made fun of her in front of a man who was merely walking past them in a park. They visited her sister's place and the pressure was building up, with Jessica arguing and her mother trying to placate her. As the evening progressed, Jessica asked her mother to call a doctor, but when the doctor arrived, the doctor left very quickly in fear of her life. Jessica chased her down the driveway. Jessica had been on the phone that night calling Red Rooster 3 times, at 9:18, at 9:20 and at 9:21, agitating for more food. According to the professor that consulted Jessica in court, she said her mother had told her, "I've had enough. I'm ringing 000 to get an ambulance here and put you back into care, back into the mental health care system." And that's when the attack began. On the night she died, 57-year-old Rita had been determined to turn a corner and start living a life for herself rather than giving everything to Jessica. In interviews with the police and doctors since, Jessica has indicated that she knew her life as she had led it was coming to an end and she would do anything to prevent that happening. Jessica herself told police in her bloodied state after killing her mum, "She had enough of me. She was at her wit's end. I want everyone to know this. I've hurt a lot of people in the past, but I've never laid a finger on my mum until tonight. I understand she's had enough of me because I'm a piece of work. My mum lost her patience. I wanted to give her a taste of her own medicine, but not to kill her. I had to keep stabbing her. I think that's what happened, and then her head just came off." From the body cam footage of the police officers that arrived first on the scene, you can hear Jessica asking, "Can you bring someone back to life if they don't have a head?" And the police officer responding, "There's nothing you can do. She's a goner." Jessica then states, "'Cause I know doctors can do miracles. They can't re-sew her head?" The police officer then says, "That's a bit of a stretch." And Jess replies, "I thought doctors can do miracle surgeries and put her head back on." Chapter 4, The Aftermath. Jessica was relatively calm by the time police arrived.
She had enough of me. She grabbed me by the hair and dragged me from my room all the way to the kitchen, and she got a knife and she tried to stab me with it, and I grabbed the knife off her because I thought she was going to stab me, so I stabbed her back.
Perhaps it was because Jessica's best friend, her mother, was now dead.
With the death of Mrs. Camilleri, the offender has lost not just her mother, but her carer, protector, and only real friend. She is now isolated from family and others who would formerly have supported and assisted her.
In her interview at St Mary's Police Station the day after killing her mother, Jessica tells officers, "I don't know how my sister and my dad is going to be towards me after this." The officer tells her that no, they're very upset at this moment. In the 000 call, played during the trial, she can be heard asking for police and an ambulance to be sent to the home to respond to a life or death situation.
Yes, I need you to get the ambulance and the police out here immediately.
To which address?
128 St Clair Avenue, please come. I need you. This is our immediate life or death.
She passes the phone to a puzzled neighbour who briefly speaks with the operator.
What's happened?
I don't know. We was just at home, but she just come in screaming for help, and when suddenly I opened the
Before
door.
seemingly, Jess comes back on the phone, very coherent.
Has had enough of me because I admit I've been a challenge, and this ongoing thing's been going for months anyway. She had enough of me. She grabbed me by the hair and dragged me from my room all the way to the kitchen, and she got a knife and she tried to stab me with it, and I grabbed the knife off her because I thought she was going to stab me, so I stabbed her back.
Jessica goes on to explain how she carried the severed head next to the door to show another neighbour who wasn't much help. When asked by the 000 operator what kind of knife she used, she replied, "All sorts of knives. There were about 7 knives I was stabbing her with. A few of the knives broke. When the knives broke, I got another one. They're all in the kitchen. There's blood everywhere." The trial heard Jessica stabbed her mum more than 100 times in the neck and the head, decapitating her and cutting out her eyeballs, tongue and nose.
I accept, as the jury clearly did, that the offender is substantially impaired as a consequence of her multiple disorders, and she experiences episodes of violent rage which she is unable to control.
Justice Wilson said that due to the extreme nature of Jessica's crimes, a stern sentence was called for.
Mrs. Camilleri, would you stand up, please? For the manslaughter of Rita Camilleri on the 20th of July 2019, the offender is sentenced to a term of imprisonment for 21 years and 7 months, commencing on the 20th of July 2019 and expiring on the 19th of February 2041. The non-parole period is one of 16 years and 2 months imprisonment, which will expire on the 19th of September 2035. You can sit down, Ms. Camilleri.